All right, y'all. So once you can understand that there's an us and our, and that God versus Lord God, and we know that the Lord is the master of the house, right? That God is the female entity and the Lord God is the male entity. They meet up at the Godhead, which is the Father. The Father is the fat her, okay? And the Father is the Father. This is why we're not to call any man Father. So we see that 2 laws were given. We see the 10 commandments and then the 600, 800 different laws that were given later on. Jesus was coming to break the law, right? He came to not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. How does he fulfill it? Because he goes against it. So as he goes against it, he establishes the law. So he didn't have to rest on the Sabbath because he wasn't under the rules of Mother Earth that runs and operates through the governments, okay? He was under the law of his Father, which, if you go back and look at the 2 men, Genesis 1 man had 1 tree of life that was given. That's where we get our beast system structure, where if you live in the cities, you have to go and eat by the cities. If you live outside the cities, you have the choice to go into the city, or you have the choice to garden and stuff. This is where you get like Lot pitched his tent towards Sodom, where he lived close enough to the city to where he could still get entertained by the city, right? He didn't stay out of the city. It's okay to go there for food, right? Because we all need food, and that's that tree of life. But we don't have to eat from all the fruits of the tree of life per se, okay? Because some fruits contain that knowledge of good and evil. But the way the world's structured, they try and keep the things that give you good knowledge, those things are kind of made illegal. But in the garden, man had free access to all things. He just wasn't supposed to touch the tree of knowledge and the tree of life, right? So that's where Jesus was coming in, where he just moved from city to city. He didn't set his house anywhere, and he just passed through. So he was coming to break the law by establishing the law. Okay, folks? That's where he didn't have to do the Sabbath, because the rule of the day, just like today, or like in the old times, whereas like if you grew up in the 80s, some of those times, that's when everything was closed on Sundays, or everything opened up at noon or whatever, right? But we can see how that structure is faded, and then we're going into an age of rest, so everything is open or closed whenever, and there's kind of no structure, and it's going to without form and void in one way, but then another way it's going to get very, very structured. So you'll have heaven on one side and hell on another, depends where you look at it. So just like today, when you live outside the system and you go and talk to people, like as a hairstylist, I have to hear people or whatever, and it just breaks your heart a little bit, because you know these people are just so stuck, and there's just kind of no help for them, you know what I mean? But anyways, folks, coming out of her is that king spirit is like that Elvis, and that female spirit is the United States Lady Liberty, and they're coming together to control man. All right, I mean, you got Hollywood, she would do it, Hollywood do it, right? And they're coming in and showing what Hollywood would do, right? She's that Lady Liberty also. Anyways, folks, we'll end it here.